All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Another round of scattered showers and storms today. I know we had some hit or miss rain yesterday on Tuesday, but for today on Wednesday, I actually think a slightly higher coverage, say a 30% chance for showers and storms. It will still be hot, but we're also looking ahead to the weekend where there's another early season front that actually has a higher likelihood of moving through and cooling us down a little bit. I'm sure you want to hear about that. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Here's a look at the temperature forecast across the state today. All of a sudden, even for areas of far north Texas and the Texas Panhandle, things are heating up there too as that front we've been watching becomes more diffuse and kind of washes out. So for us here in central Texas today, it will be low to mid 90s. Assuming you don't see rain in the early afternoon, Austin would probably be more in the mid 90s. If you get some rain earlier, then it would be low 90s today. And then before we go into the hour by hour models here, I also just want to kind of show you the big picture. This is the national model blend for the next 10 days. This might be a little deceiving in a few ways. So today, again, we'll be somewhere in the low to mid 90s on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll be in the upper 90s. Friday, I actually think that Austin will probably hit 100. And then Saturday and Sunday is where it becomes tricky depending on the timing of this upcoming cold front. Saturday might not necessarily be all the way up to 94. It does look like by Sunday, though, some of this slightly cooler air will move in. So you can see what I mean here. I think we'll get a couple days that are more so like upper 80s, low 90s. So not the first big front where we drop into the 40s and it's chilly rain. Not like that. But at some point, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a little bit of a cooler air mass coming in. And I think that's going to come along with some rain chances too. Okay, so we've got this stalled stationary boundary, which is right over us. Again, the temperature gradient is like basically non-existent now, but this stalled frontal boundary will act as a focal point for some showers and some storms to develop as we go through the day today. And that's why our rain chances have boosted a little bit. So with that, we'll go into the models. This is the HRRR, and again, for anybody new to these videos, here's where the time is. I know this looks a little different, so this would be 10 a.m. Today on Wednesday. This model, I think, continues to underdo the rain coverage. So you can see it is showing some kind of hit or miss showers and storms as we get into this afternoon. I think it will be hit or miss, yes, but a little bit more widespread than this. 30 to 40% rain chance is what I'm thinking for today. Again, here's another run of this model, which updates every hour or so, just showing here we are here in Austin. This is our central Texas area where we get pop-up showers and storms. I don't have a severe threat today, don't have a flood concern today, but you know, one of those downpours went up over Fayette County yesterday and dropped like 1 to 3 inches of rain. So there could be some locally heavy rain, but not looking at a big flood risk or anything too crazy. Now, temperature-wise today, again, just to show you a little bit of the model data, this particular model run is bringing us up to like 93 in Austin. Again, even for more northern parts of the state, things are looking pretty hot today. Our exact temperature, though, is just going to depend on when exactly you see rain. Okay, so for today, it's going to be hot, low to mid 90s. I'll back this up. It's going to be hot. Low to mid 90s. We'll have some hit or miss rain and storms. Thursday is going to be pretty much completely dry and just hot. Friday is when the forecast starts to get more active again. Okay, so I've switched over to the NAM model, the North American model. This model tends to handle shallow cold air masses very well. So what is a shallow cold air mass? That would be a cold front. So let's see what it is showing. Friday. You can see by the afternoon on Friday where this front is, right? You can see where it gets a little cooler again up here in North Texas in the Panhandle. Meanwhile, for us on Friday, again, I have 100 in my forecast, and it's possible, guys. It's possible this could be our final triple-digit day of the year. Now, we know still into October, it can be triple digits in Austin, but it's possible. Okay, so when is this front coming through? This model says by 1 a.m. You could see the imprint there. In fact, as we switch over to the wind, you can see where we're starting to shift to that north wind. So that would be the front coming through Friday night into early Saturday. Then this model only goes out to 1 p.m. on Saturday, but it has the front through here and has the really hot stuff down to our south and southwest, and it actually, now this would only be the early afternoon, so there would still be some warming left to go, but it has 70s and 80s, that might be a little bit aggressive. Again, these early season fronts, they're notoriously tricky. If when I make my forecast later today, I'm definitely not going to put like 82 in the forecast. But again, do I think that upper 80s, low 90s, maybe as early as Saturday will be a possibility? I do. This also, I think, is going to come along with some rain chances. Let's switch over here to our euro. And then too, you can just see how the models are differing on some of the timing here. So this is the European model, Friday afternoon, it has us hot. And then this model says that even Saturday we're ahead of the front. So in this case, we'd be upper 90s again Saturday, and then Saturday night the front comes through, and Sunday would be the cooler day. Typically, that NAM model, this high-res data, handles this a little better. And when I get in later on today, we'll look at the graph model, and we're going to start to get some high-res data to come in. And just like what we talked about with the last front, that kind of tells you, is this going to be an overachieving front? Is it going to be an underachieving front? That starts to give you a stronger signal for how things could play out. Let's switch though, and let's talk about rain, because as this front comes through, I do think it's going to give us some rain chances. So we'll switch over to the precipitation type here. And this European model, again, is not bringing the front through on Friday, so it does not have much rain around on Friday. But if the front comes in to that hot air mass on Friday, it wouldn't surprise me if we had some showers and storms Friday afternoon and Friday evening. But rather, this model says Saturday is going to have a better rain chance. So this would be 7 p.m. on Saturday. Yeah, we'll have at least a chance for some rain in the forecast in College Station as Texas A&M is hosting UTSA, and a chance for rain in San Marcos as Texas State is hosting Eastern Michigan. So I do think we're going to have a rain chance around, I would say 30 to 40% as I see it right now on Saturday. And then we'll see Sunday. This model yesterday did not have anything crazy going on Sunday, and now it's got pretty widespread rain as that front is kind of stalled over our area. So let me show you a couple of flood outlooks right now. We'll switch back to these graphics. So this is the excessive rain outlook for Friday, which, as you can see, does include kind of northern sections of the state. And then Saturday, we actually go up to a level 2 flood risk for parts of West Texas and the Texas Panhandle, and a level 1 here in our neck of the woods. And then likewise into Sunday, we have I apologize, that is actually Friday again, but Sunday is also going to have a level 1 risk. Here are the latest rainfall totals over the next 7 days or so off the WPC from the Weather Prediction Center. And again, where on Saturday there's that higher flood risk, there's definitely potential for a couple inches of rain out here over West Texas and the Texas Panhandle. For us, it's a lot murkier. And it depends on where that front stalls and how the rain develops along it. But again, especially over the hill country, there could be at least some low-end flood potential that we'll need to keep an eye on. We'll go into the 6 to 10 day outlooks and check that out as we go into the extended forecast. So this will now be all in September. September 1st through September 5th, still above average precipitation, a decent likelihood, especially to our west. But yes, even here in the Austin area and in central Texas. And then temperature-wise, I don't think the temperature forecast is going to get any easier anytime soon. This is, as we start getting into these battleground months, this is where we find ourselves here in central Texas. No surprise. But we're here kind of in no man's land, like at average. Then you get warmer than average south, potentially cooler than average as you go north. A few more meteograms I want to show you. Here's the European model for the next 7 days. So again, this is going to be highly subject to change depending on when this front comes through. For today will be low to mid 90s, that's likely. Thursday will be upper 90s, that's likely. Friday will be upper 90s to triple digits, that part is likely. Saturday, this model doesn't have the front coming through until Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, so it still has us warm on Saturday. But as I showed you with some of the high-res data, it would not surprise me if the front potentially could get here earlier and cool us down some for Saturday. Then this model says by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we've got some of that cooler air. All right, that's one model, Euro. What is the GFS showing? Oh, I apologize about putting the GFS in here. Let me stand by. Here's the here are the temperatures off the GFS, and you can see it looks a little bit different, right? It has us well into the triple digits Friday. still hot Saturday, then kind of like the Euro, cools us down a little bit Sunday, Monday, and then builds temperatures again as we go into next week. So again, one final time, well, actually, before we go to the model blend, real quick, tropics. We've got Fernand out there over the Atlantic, open Atlantic, moving away. And remarkably, as we go into early September, remember the climatological peak of the hurricane season is September 10th, and we've got just nothing going on. And I'm not saying that means the entire rest of the season, which goes through November, is going to be quiet. We'll still have to watch the back half of September, but as of now, things are pretty quiet. Okay, so I will leave you with this again on the model blend. This is not exactly how the forecast is going to shake out, but we'll be low to mid 90s, hit or miss showers and storms around today. Hot, dry Thursday, very hot Friday, maybe triple digits. Maybe a hit or miss storm chance Friday in the evening too, if that front is coming through around then. Saturday, this is going to be probably the trickiest day, depending on if the front is through or not. The model blend has us in the mid 90s. Which, if the front is not through yet, it will be mid to upper 90s. If the front's through, it'll probably be more like upper 80s, low 90s. And then by Sunday, upper 80s, low 90s, as we're more confident that at that point, the front likely has moved through. And then looking more like low to mid 90s as we get into the first half of next week. All right, so that's what I have for you. We appreciate everybody tuning in for this morning edition of the extended forecast. I'm trying to post this video every day on Facebook and on YouTube, at least during the week. And then if it's active, I can do these on the weekend too. But you'll have a great rest of your day, and I'll have more updates on the forecast later on this afternoon. Have a good one.